What's up, guys? It's Counter-Strike Global Patch Notes for April 26, 2023. Well, this patch is interesting. There's a lot of like quality of life, I guess you can call them. Like system changes and display, like more of UI stuff, basically. All right, let's just get to it immediately. So they're changing the sort option. It will basically tell you where your unit is deployed, and it will mark it in the following order: first dorm, then PvP combat squad, then defense strategy battle squad, then lobby squad, raid, and then dive. Okay, then tactical update. They did some changes to the tactical update. Now you can sort in your units. You can sort by tactical update, and it will show you the units that can be upgraded right now. So if you have dupes of them currently sitting, also you can change the characters inside of the tactical window, which is great. I wanted that quality of life since the very like the day one of the tactical or origin update, because it was very annoying where if you put a dupe in and then you wanted to go to another unit and you wanted to see if they even can have a dupe, you had to go back, I think, like twice, then swap unit and then go back into the tactical update 2 more times. It's like, it was just very annoying. So now you can just press arrow, goes to the next unit, and you can see if they have the copies or not. You can also click change unit if you have specific unit in mind, and it will only display units that already have dupes. So there's like few different ways you can easily identify if you have dupes, and you can currently do the tactical update. The stuff that is still missing for me in terms of quality of life here is they need to add an option where you can put multiple dupes at the same time, because you know, like for newer players or whatever, if you have the lower rarity units and you happen to have like 5 dupes or something, putting them one by one is just very tedious. So yeah, they should just do something about that. Also, they did the ship requirements will be displayed more clearly. So now you will see exactly what you need to clear in order to unlock the ability to construct ships. So that's good. Clarity always good. Ship basic deployment resource information display. So they changed that as well. Let's see, it will be displayed in the ship stop information based on ship's grade. Okay. Improvements of autoform rules. We talked about it before in, I think, the dev notes. They changed a little bit how the auto will work if you try to form your team. So they will try to grab all ground first, then ground units, and then air units. Also, some of the slots will be deployed in this order of awakened first, then rearmed units, and then normal units last. Let's see, high tactical ability units will be deployed first, so it will also take into account the your dupes, which is interesting. We'll see. I mean, this one usually probably doesn't even matter unless you're doing maybe like a story or something and you don't really just want to slap something and hopefully it just clears 3-star. But yeah, we just have to play with it and see after some time if it performs better than the old system or not. I'm for it though. If it doesn't like prioritize the dumb, you know, or rarity units that are fully duped, because that annoys me when it deploys like the R units or SR units, because they're duped and they happen to have some equipment on them, instead of prioritizing maybe units with a bit worse equipment but awakened or normal SSR stuff. So that's good. They also changed the icon for the initiative and replica gear sets since they're special, so it's easier to differentiate them, because right now they just had the cooldown icon, or HP icon, right, for the other sets, so you will be able to tell easier that it's the special one, not the regular one. Especially good for newer players. This one is decent. So every 1000 CP there will be a comma, so easier to tell how big the number is. Cool. Jukebox system, don't really care much for those changes. Metal grade achievement is removed from Shadow Palace, sure. Doesn't really matter much. They changed display of currency on top of the world map. Cool for few of the things. Doesn't matter too much. Consortium and co-op stuff. So some of them we will not be able to see right now because the season is down. But one thing that I did notice is they added the like a small note in like top left part of the consortium. When you go in there, you have a notification that says season ended, and it has the timer on it. I'm assuming it will stay there when the season opens as well, and it will tell you you have X amount of days or hours before the week ends, right? The boss resets. So that's pretty cool. They also again added the ability to do the practice run. Again, since the season is down, we can't really see it, but whenever it opens in a few days, we'll be able to see most of those changes. They also added the level 3 buff and level 4 buff to Coalition. This is only for the leader of the consortium, so not on the player side at least. They also increased the donation number from 3 to 8. Sure, doesn't really matter too much. It increases your income of the consortium currency, right? So you might be able to buy more things now from the weekly shop. So that's okay. I think that's okay. Yeah, practice mode, we talked about it. Artifact target settings, so we'll be able to there will be some kind of targeting in the arena, so I think it will be easier to tell what artifacts you can get or where you can get them. So we'll see. Again, we have to wait. Then boss attack and prohibition, so buttons if your guild is not like communicating much or whatever. This is the easier way, or should be easier way to tell people, hey, attack this or don't attack this, instead of reading through like, you know, the chat or something. So cool. Gauntlet improvements, the entry requirements for the Gauntlet rank battle. Before it was silver 1 with 1000 points in strategy battle, now it's silver 3, only 500 points in strategy battle. I don't even remember that ranked battle required you to be placed somewhere in the strategy battle. So okay. Gauntlet lobby update, so they also updated a little bit of UI for the Gauntlet. If you go in, you'll see the buttons are now more fancy, I guess, and you can check more things there, stuff like this week's bans, for example, and apps, from that menu, instead of going inside of the ranked and then checking the apps with separate buttons. So sure, I don't really mind much. That's fine with me. They talked about the sound balancing stuff, so I think all they meant is they are reducing the default settings for the sound. So instead of everything at 100, now it will be set to default 70 background, 60 effects, and 80 voice. Sure. So okay, limited items. If you already purchased them, they will be no longer be visible in the sales list. So it won't even stay as the sold out right now, or before rather. You had sold out on those items. Now they will just be simply gone from the shop, which it's a good thing because it will make the shop clearer, what you still can buy, instead of clogging that space with sold out items. It's worse for people like me when I want to make a video on something and then I don't have access to stuff I bought from the shop anymore, for example. So there's like a very weird case or weird scenario where it's kind of bad not being able to see them, but who cares? It's fine. They changed the mission for the gear again from 10 to 8 pieces with +8. And that's it for the changes. So the turning awakened units, we have Arhat, Shiyoon. Honestly, really good unit. The more I use him, the more I like him. You can use him in PvP. In certain occasions, you can definitely use him in raids. He's required for Britra one-shots, since he's the one who will be tanking and countering the boss skill. But he also requires decent gear on him, so... but yeah, I think he's relatively worth it to pull. If you don't have him yet, just, you know, there will be units coming in a few months that are very, very good in terms of awakened, and there will be a lot of them in a row. So, you know, if you want to wait, then I would advise that. Alright, on to the next unit. Hilde. I like this unit a lot. I use her a lot. She's my main tank and a lot of content. Unfortunately though, I cannot deny that her use will get lower and lower the longer we go, because she's a 6 cost defender and the only thing she does is just, you know, tank. I feel like there's just more units that can do tanking, but they also provide you with more things on top of it, and the 6 cost also doesn't help. So don't get me wrong, she's still good, but like, she was the first awaken unit, so she's kind of outdated or like power crept a little bit in comparison. So Jesus, my throat getting a little dry here. So yeah, I would say she's not worth it right now. Not especially with like really good awaken units coming soon. Like, speaking of tanking, right? The awakened Chifuyu that's gonna happen in a few months. Like, she can tank. She survives for a very long time, surprisingly, and she does a lot of damage on top of it. So like, you know, will she be applicable to every content that Hilde is? Probably not, but still. Yeah. I would advise waiting, because a lot of good units are coming. Okay, so the returning SSR banners, we have Rosaria. Really good unit. I really like her. I actually crafted her special equipment because you can have double anti-ground damage on it, which is pretty fucking cool. And I gave her like full attack speed, so she's, I don't know, like 40% I think attack speed or something with 60 anti-ground damage. She hits hard. She hits hard. She stacks her passive very fast, and she out damages pretty much everything I have once she's stacked. Even with like not full stacks, she still does a lot. So I use her in CoP, the Consortium boss CoP. There she fucking tops the charts, no questions asked, for sure. In raids, in specific raids, maybe. I don't remember if I use her in raids. Can't think off the top of my head if I did. Didn't really do too many raids recently. Just getting the clears from my friends. So, but yeah, she's a really good unit, especially in PvE. Because in most stages in PvE, sorry, you'll be fighting a lot of enemies, and she gets a passive that increases her attack up to 15 times, I believe, for every enemy that she killed. So, as you can guess, yeah, once she gets those stacks going, she starts to hit harder and harder. So very good unit for PvE. You can argue she's slightly outdated. She was one of the first units on the banner, if not literally the first unit on the banner. But I still like her a lot, and to this day, to me, she's very, very good for PvE, especially if you invest into her. But she doesn't need investment if you don't want to, which is pretty nice too. Next character, Frederick Doma. I don't like him much. However, I did use him for quite a bit because of his buff, or debuff rather, I guess, on the enemy. Damage amplification, and a lot of it actually. So I used him a lot in raids, and that's his pretty much only place against like tough bosses where he amplifies damage. But right now, there's so many good units for raids that he doesn't really get used. I did not see him anymore on like any raid setups, so definitely not recommended, especially with QoL upcoming of the Guilty Gear. So I would wait. I would definitely wait. I think we're like a month and a half away or something. So I would wait. Okay, on to the operator, Lena Mackenzie. She's decent PvE operator. I would say the Hana is more, or like easier, definitely easier to proc, and she's more like universal. This one is also pretty universal, but I think slightly weaker. I think I prefer Hana a little more, but they're both really good. So for PvE, those are pretty much the only PvE two operators I use. So, but again, as always with operators, don't pull on them, especially now. If you need the operator, just buy them from the Task Planet shop instead. So, Olivie Parker, she, I believe, was good PvP operator, if I'm not mistaken. Yeah, some damage reduction, cancel harmful effects. Looks like PvP, mostly. So I think I've seen her a few times in defense setups and stuff like that. So she seems pretty decent. Again, don't pull unless you're a super whale. The next danger close boss, since it's the end of the month, we're getting Bishop. So that's pretty cool. I can't remember if we had bishop before. I could have sworn we did not have that boss before, so I think this is the new one. Unless I'm forgetting something, which might be the case, I guess. And finally the Panchin. This one with 30 gold binaries at the end, which is pretty nice. And yeah, other than that, a lot of quite few fixes that they did, and that's it. That's it for the patch. So again, a lot of like UI stuff and that kind of stuff than like any content. So, but overall, pretty good. Not complaining. But yeah, that's it from me, and I'll see you guys next time. Peace.